The man who refuses to challenge himself condemns himself to decay. Comfort is the quiet assassin of human potential. One who obeys blindly has already abandoned his spirit. Values are not inherited. They are forged in fire. A life without self-questioning is merely survival. Greatness begins where excuses end. The weak seek permission. The strong create permission. To think independently is already an act of rebellion. A man's depth is revealed by what he can endure without complaint. Fear is not an enemy, but a threshold. The disciplined soul walks where desire alone would stumble. Every creator must first learn to stand alone. Tradition is a shelter for those afraid of becoming. The bold do not ask whether life is fair. They shape it. A strong spirit outgrows yesterday's beliefs. To remain unchanged is to slowly disappear. The masses prefer comfort to truth. A man who cannot command himself will serve another. The future belongs to those who dare to reinterpret life. One's character is revealed in solitude, not applause. Ideals are born when dissatisfaction becomes vision. The courageous mind cuts its own path through chaos. Dependence is disguised weakness. Thought becomes powerful only when acted upon. A man must first respect himself before demanding respect. Certainty is the refuge of the intellectually lazy. The rare individual does not seek agreement. Strength grows when resistance is welcomed. Most people flee responsibility and call it freedom. A higher life demands higher standards of oneself. Self-respect is the beginning of all discipline. One must risk misunderstanding to speak truthfully. The herd fears difference because difference exposes emptiness. A sharp mind is dangerous to stagnant systems. Those who blame the world surrender their power. Vision is wasted on those unwilling to act. A man grows dangerous the moment he stops seeking approval. To endure oneself is the hardest test. Inner order creates outer strength. The thinker who fears isolation will never be free. Most truths are rejected not because they are false, but because they are demanding. Self-deception is the most comfortable prison. A noble spirit chooses difficulty over ease. One who fears judgment will never create. The disciplined individual bends chaos into form. Passion without direction is self-destruction. The rarest courage is loyalty to one's own insight. Mediocrity thrives where excellence apologizes. A man becomes powerful when he stops negotiating with weakness. Thought sharpens where resistance exists. Life rewards those who risk becoming more than they are. A strong will is trained, not wished for. The comfortable mind avoids transformation. Great individuals are misunderstood before they are admired. To question morality is to reclaim responsibility. The obedient mind is easily governed. One must learn to stand firm without certainty. Self-command precedes all authority. Progress begins when fear loses its voice. The spirit grows taller when burdened. One who refuses to evolve chooses irrelevance. Silence often reveals more strength than reaction. The individual who endures solitude gains clarity. Conviction is forged through struggle, not consensus. A man must become hard toward himself before becoming kind to others. The creative mind thrives on risk. Comfort dulls ambition faster than failure. Discipline is freedom in its highest form. The thinker must sometimes offend to remain honest. Weakness seeks safety. Strength seeks challenge. To abandon self-development is to betray life. The courageous confront reality without illusions. Every habit is a silent philosophy. The individual who commands his time commands himself. Growth begins where self-pity ends. The disciplined mind does not beg motivation. A man becomes formidable when he accepts responsibility for his life. The bold accept uncertainty as a companion. Great souls are shaped by resistance. Truth demands stamina. The unexamined belief becomes a hidden chain. The strong mind refuses inherited limitations. To endure discomfort willingly is to cultivate power. The thinker who fears error will never discover truth. Creation requires the courage to fail openly. The future fears those who act without permission. One must sharpen the self before shaping the world. Strength is patience under pressure. A disciplined life creates inner sovereignty. The free individual accepts the burden of choice. Greatness grows where excuses die. The courageous man does not seek reassurance. A life without tension lacks direction. To master oneself is to silence unnecessary desires. The bold think beyond approval. Self-command is the highest victory. The individual becomes dangerous when clarity replaces doubt. Comfort creates followers. Struggle creates leaders. A strong spirit confronts reality without resentment. Discipline transforms desire into achievement. The individual who accepts struggle owns his future. A mind that obeys fear will never innovate. Growth requires the willingness to stand exposed. The courageous mind chooses truth over peace. Responsibility is the price of freedom. The thinker must sometimes destroy to rebuild. Self-mastery begins with brutal honesty. The bold shape life rather than endure it. Strength lies in sustained effort, not impulse. The free spirit refuses comfortable illusions. A man becomes powerful when he stops blaming circumstances. The disciplined soul does not wait for inspiration. Transformation demands sacrifice. The thinker who fears solitude remains shallow. Growth is painful only to those who resist it. The individual who governs himself cannot be ruled easily. Courage is clarity under pressure. The ambitious spirit thrives where others retreat. Inner order creates outer dominance. A strong will does not seek shortcuts. To become oneself is an act of defiance. Weak minds fear responsibility more than failure. Strength matures through restraint. The individual must earn his own meaning. A disciplined life reveals hidden power. The courageous accept reality without complaint. Independence begins in thought. A man grows formidable when excuses lose authority. Greatness tolerates no comfort addiction. The free mind chooses effort over ease. One who governs desire governs destiny. Strength is consistency in adversity. The thinker must withstand isolation to remain honest. Transformation requires abandonment of the familiar. The individual who commands himself becomes rare. A disciplined spirit fears no chaos. Growth demands the courage to confront oneself. The ambitious refuse to live quietly. Self-command is silent power. The strong embrace responsibility without resentment. To endure is not enough. One must grow. The disciplined mind reshapes instinct. A courageous life is self-directed. Power begins where self-pity ends. The individual must choose who he becomes. Strength is earned through resistance. The free spirit stands firm without validation. Creation begins with dissatisfaction. A man becomes formidable when he accepts struggle as necessary. The highest victory is sovereignty over oneself.
Overcoming weakness requires courage and discipline. All that does not destroy you makes you stronger. The individual is responsible for his own becoming. Power is realized inwardly before it manifests outwardly. Self-overcoming is a lifelong journey, not a destination. The brave affirm life in all its chaos and uncertainty. He who becomes master of himself rules his own fate. The soul that conquers fear finds freedom. To assert oneself is to embrace life's struggle. The creative spirit bends reality to its vision. Strength is measured by one's ability to endure and transform. The path to greatness is lonely but necessary. Self-overcoming transforms weakness into power. Those who dare are those who shape history. Man must rise above resentment to find true strength. The will to power manifests in art, thought, and action. One must reject comfort to embrace greatness. Life is a battlefield in which one must conquer oneself. The strongest are those who turn suffering into fuel. He who conquers himself is unassailable by others. The individual shapes reality through courage and vision. Self-overcoming demands honesty, discipline, and courage. Those who embrace life fully assert their will to power. The higher man is a creator, not a follower. To overcome oneself is to transcend fear, doubt, and limitation. Strength comes from turning adversity into opportunity. The spirit that grows through struggle is indestructible. Power is realized in self-mastery and self-expression. He who defies mediocrity affirms life itself. Self-overcoming is the triumph of the individual over circumstance. The brave live as artists of themselves. All life seeks to express, conquer, and overcome. The individual must rise above herd mentality. The will to power is the foundation of human excellence. Overcoming the self requires persistence and vision. He who masters himself commands his destiny. The creative force of life demands courage and action. Strength emerges through struggle and self-reflection. The individual who dares becomes a beacon for others. Self-overcoming transforms pain into purpose. Those who face themselves fully are the truly free. The higher man seeks challenges, not comfort. Life's true meaning is found in asserting one's own values. The soul grows through confrontation with adversity. He who masters weakness becomes a force of life. Self-overcoming is the noblest pursuit of all. The will to power is realized in creation, not conquest. The individual shapes his own reality through courage. True greatness requires courage, creativity, and self-discipline. Those who rise above themselves rise above the world. The path to power begins within. Overcoming oneself is the ultimate expression of freedom. He who struggles and grows leaves mediocrity behind. The individual is the author of his own destiny. Life demands courage, struggle, and constant transformation. Self-overcoming turns limitation into mastery. The will to power drives all who create and conquer themselves. The higher man is forged through challenge, trial, and self-reflection. To affirm life is to assert one's own strength and will. He who has a why can bear any how. One must still have chaos within to give birth to a dancing star. Become who you are by embracing your own nature. The higher we soar, the smaller we appear to those who cannot fly. He who fights with monsters should look to it that he himself does not become a monster. The individual must create his own values. Strength is the overcoming of weakness within oneself. The will to power is the essence of life itself. Self-overcoming is the path to true greatness. The thinker creates his own destiny through action. To live is to struggle is to grow. One must destroy old idols to make room for new ideals. The soul is measured by the challenges it conquers. He who conquers himself is the strongest warrior. The world belongs to those who dare. Power is realized through self-mastery, not domination of others. The individual must rise above herd morality. Life is an eternal becoming, not a static being. True strength is the courage to face oneself. Self-overcoming transforms suffering into growth. The spirit that refuses to bend becomes unbreakable. The will to power drives all creation and destruction. He who cannot obey himself will be commanded by others. The path to greatness requires the destruction of weakness. One must live dangerously to live fully. The individual is a work of art to be sculpted constantly. The higher man seeks his own ideals. Overcoming is the true expression of life's energy. Those who embrace struggle forge their own destiny. Freedom is the courage to define oneself. The self is mastered through relentless questioning and action. All life strives to grow, expand, and assert itself. He who seeks power over others is weak compared to he who masters himself. The spirit that conquers itself creates new horizons. True nobility lies in self-overcoming, not in titles. Man must create values to survive in a chaotic world. Strength arises from the transformation of suffering into purpose. The individual must rise above conventional morality. He who climbs over himself sees the world with new eyes. The will to power is expressed in creativity, not domination. Self-overcoming is the path to personal liberation. The higher man dares where others fear. Life's challenges are the forge of character. The strong embrace difficulty as a tool of growth. To create oneself is the greatest triumph of all. He who resists conformity becomes a force of life. The will to power is the driving force behind evolution.